6 times teams fooled us at F1 testing. As we jump into the F1 testing at Bahrain for the 2024 season, excited aren't we? Let's take a look back at some times that we have been fooled by F1 testing in the past. Whether it be because teams were deliberately sneaky, used some misdirection tactics, or basically lied, here are 6 times that we have been fooled by F1 testing. Arrows 2000. Before 2000, Arrows Grand Prix International had a total of 9 podiums, no wins, no fastest laps, and only 1 pole position. However, at the pre-season testing in 2000, Arrows shocked everybody when they suddenly broke the lap record at Barcelona. Everyone was wondering how the team had managed to shoot up the rankings so speedily. The team had made headlines and were attracting a lot of attention to themselves as a result of their surprising performance. They even managed to secure a valuable sponsorship with Orange, which was a fantastic step forward for the team. However, this was all a bit of a ruse. The team had utilised a technique called glory running, where teams send the car out with basically no fuel in testing. This meant that their car was much lighter and was able to travel at much higher speeds. This was, apparently, an attempt by the team to catch the eyes of potential sponsors. And it worked. However, it soon became obvious that their performance in testing wasn't actually their pace, as at the first Grand Prix of the year they qualified in 12th and 13th and both DNF'd in the main race. Red Bull 2010. In 2010, Red Bull had been experimenting with a new diffuser system called the blown diffuser, which essentially took the hot exhaust gases from the engine and used them to provide extra downforce on the car. However, they were worried about other teams spotting the changes they had made to the car, and so took some sneaky steps to ensure this didn't happen. They rocked up at Valencia testing with dummy stickers of a normal exhaust system placed on the engine cover, distracting teams from their real exhaust system. Clearly, this distraction technique worked for them, as they clinched both championships that year, with Sebastian Vettel taking the driver's title. Brawn 2009. 2009 saw Brawn GP shoot to stardom when they won both the Constructors and the Drivers' Championships, with Jenson Button taking the title. However, their victory was not without controversy. They had been using a double diffuser, which many teams had been complaining about. When it came to pre-season testing, they were so speedy that they deliberately held back their performance early on so that this new diffuser wouldn't get banned. Their chief strategist at the time, James Fowles, said, "As soon as we saw it delivering those lap times and that other people were not even close to touching it, we literally tanked it up, put more ballast on, and then ran it that way for the rest of the week." A lot of people just came to the conclusion that we were doing glory runs, not knowing that actually we were running every bit of metal we could on the car to slow it down. This didn't slow them down much though, given that they had so much success that year. Their drivers Jenson Button and Rubens Barrichello won a total of 8 races with 15 podiums between them. Mercedes 2019. During testing in 2019, Mercedes seemed to not really be anywhere. They pretty consistently performed mediocrely, and Lewis Hamilton even said, "We've got a hill to climb." Ferrari had been performing very well in testing, and Hamilton said this is going to be the toughest battle yet. Their pace is very, very good at the moment, so the challenge is going to be harder than ever. It seemed like Mercedes were genuinely concerned about their performance that year. After all, they had managed to win every single Drivers' and Constructors' Championship since 2014. They weren't particularly keen on ending that streak. So just how much trouble were Mercedes in? Well, Hamilton and Bottas finished 1-2 in the first 5 rounds, went on to win 15 races that year, and easily took both the championships home. Yeah. Prost 2001. The legendary Alain Prost was a 4-time world champion in Formula 1, and in 1997, Prost Grand Prix racing team, owned by the French driver, were introduced to the grid. They started off quite promisingly, placing an impressive 3rd at the Brazilian Grand Prix with Olivier Panis. Following their successful start, the team entered a bit of a lull. They did perform well in the 1999 Austrian Grand Prix, but other than that, they were a pretty consistent midfield team. 2000 was a bit of a flop season to say the least, after finishing with a grand total of 0 points. Their main sponsor and engine supplier Peugeot withdrew their support for the following season, leaving them struggling for survival. However, in the 2001 pre-season testing, Jean Alesi managed to place himself at the top of the timing sheets. Things were finally beginning to look up for Prost's team. But no, after managing to get through 5 drivers, even more than AlphaTauri managed to get through in 2023, they finished the 2001 season with a whopping 4 points. The team eventually went bankrupt in early 2002 and never entered Formula 1 again. But how did this happen, especially when they looked so impressive in testing? Well, just like Arrows did in 2000, Prost had also been deliberately underfueling to attract sponsors. Therefore, they were unable to keep up the pace in the races when they, surprise surprise, needed a full fuel tank. McLaren 2013. At the 2013 testing in Jerez, all eyes were on McLaren, who set a very impressive pace on the first day of testing. Were they going to return to their championship-winning glory days? Things certainly seemed hopeful. But apparently not. Somehow the team had managed to put a suspension component on the car upside down, resulting in a very low ride height. This meant that they performed very well at Jerez, but also made their car very illegal. They discovered their mistake that night and fixed it. However, this only made their car slower. They were no longer able to keep up the pace they had displayed the day before, and finished in 9th and 11th at the first Grand Prix of the season. Do you think we've been fooled by any other performances over the years? Or what's your favourite example of us getting pranked by F1 testing? Let us know in the comments.